Let's now bring in Democratic Congressman from California, Jimmy Gomez. Congressman, thanks so much for joining us. We have heard from, many Democrats opposition to how the administration went about this capture. Would just like to get your thoughts. Should the administration have gotten the approval of Congress before going through with this capture and attack?
Absolutely. One of the things that they should have done is really consult with Congress on what kind of military action that they were going to take and what was the purpose. See, that's the problem with this administration at the very beginning. They couldn't justify why they were conducting this mission. Was it because of drugs, even though they said it was fentanyl coming up through these speedboats when it's actually cocaine? Then they changed the fact that it was cocaine, but that was drying up their funding, even though most of the cocaine doesn't come up through the Caribbean. Then they said all of a sudden they conduct military action, and then all of a sudden it's about oil, and then about making sure that the Venezuelan people have an access to democracy. So that's the main problem, is that this administration has been consistently lying to the American people what the objectives are and the justification for those objectives. That's why nobody can really answer anything. If the U.S. is running Venezuela or not, is it this regarding drugs or not? Is it about the oil or not? So that's why I think a lot of people are confused, and the fact that they misled Congress and the American people, why they've taken these steps. And the people should be, through Congress, should be consulted and get approval for any kind of military action.
The administration said it wanted to avoid any leaks to affect this operation. Your response to that?
This is the law says that you have to report to Congress. I'm also on the Intelligence Committee. I'm used to being able to keep secrets. At the same time, that right before the attack, they only called the heads of the Intelligence Committee, the Armed Services, on the Republican side. They didn't call Democrats. But when you're putting men and women in uniform into harm's way that can lose their life, these are not Democrats, Republicans, or independents. They're Americans. And that means the entirety of the American Congress, their representatives, should be consulted, at least given notification, and they didn't do that. So when they say it's about leaks, no, it's about control. It's about making sure that they can do what they want when they want without any accountability. But our job as Congress is to make sure that they are held accountable if something goes wrong, and that they're following the laws of our that are on the books, as well as our Constitution.
Congressman, we are told from sources that top administration officials, including the defense secretary, are briefing select members of Congress on this operation. What questions do you want answered at this point?
Well, one of the things I want to know is really what the objective of this operation actually is. They mobilized assets from across the globe, military assets that are all in the Caribbean. That means that we have less assets in the Middle East, that we have less assets across the globe to deal with real threats against the United States. That means we're vulnerable in those areas. So how long are you going to keep these assets here? Are you going to let this regime, the Chavista regime, stay in place? And therefore, what are we to get out of it? Is it for oil? Is it for, which it sounds like it is, since Donald Trump mentioned it 21 times, is it for ending TPS for the remaining 600,000 TPS holders available from Venezuela in the United States, so that they can deport them back to that country? So we have a lot of questions to ask, but mainly we really want to know what the objective is, because the American people don't want boots on the ground, and they don't want an open-ended deployment into Venezuela in order to fulfill the whims of Donald Trump and his cabinet.
Congressman Jimmy Gomez, appreciate your time today. Thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.